Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our official announcement of the naming of Georgia State Stadium. We're pleased to be joined today by Georgia State President Mark Becker, Director of Athletics Charlie Cobb, Center Parc Credit Union and APCU President and CEO Chuck Head, along with Center Parc Credit Union and APCU Chief Strategy Officer Amry Fuller. After hearing opening remarks from each of these individuals, we'll gladly take questions from members of the media. President Becker, if you would, please get us started.
Thank you, Mike. The Georgia State University Athletic Department is pleased to announce that today the University System of Georgia Board of Regents approved a 15-year naming rights and sponsorship agreement for our stadium with Center Parc Credit Union. The stadium will be called Center Parc Credit Union Stadium or Center Parc Stadium. This is a momentous day for our athletics department and an important step forward for our young football program. With this sponsorship agreement, one of the largest such agreements in the history of so-called Group of Five FBS football program, we have come a long way since the launch of Panther football in 2001. I'm incredibly proud of everyone being part of the rise of our program, and we look forward to celebrating any victories, commencements, and special moments in Center Parc Stadium. In addition, Center Parc Stadium will be another visible anchor to the university and Carter's shared vision for the revitalization of the area around the stadium and the Summerhill community. In Center Parc Credit Union, Georgia State has a partner that reflects our values and mission, and with a shared commitment to bettering the lives and communities of our faculty, staff, students, alumni, and families. The team at Center Parc has been a pleasure to work with. This process started before the COVID-19 pandemic hit us, and I appreciate everyone staying together and on point to get us to this important day. This agreement is a ray of sunshine in what has been an otherwise stormy 2020. Thank you to my GSU colleagues and to the folks at Center Parc Credit. At this time, it is my pleasure to hand it off to Chuck Head, President and CEO of Center Parc Credit Union.
Thank you, President Becker. Yes, today is a big day for Center Parc Credit Union as we announce a long-term partnership with Georgia State University and the naming rights sponsorship of Georgia State Stadium. Center Parc Credit Union is a new credit union with 95 years of history serving the people of Georgia. As a division of APCU, which serves more than 100,000 people nationwide, we're excited to bring our extraordinary value proposition to more people through our community initiative. I can't imagine any better way to achieve that than through this partnership with Georgia State University, which is like-minded in its intention to support the communities surrounding us. This time, I'd like to introduce Amry Fuller, our Chief Strategy Officer.
I'm glad to be here with you all today making this announcement. I've spent a great deal of time with the initiative over about a year and with many of these great individuals representing this great organization. I'm very excited about the opportunity to be part of something that's truly historically significant for the city of Atlanta. And I'm thrilled to be here today and again, just finally getting to tell the world about this partnership and happy to answer any questions that you might have. And with that, I turn it over to Charlie Cobb, the Athletic Director for Georgia State University.
Amy, many thanks. And like everyone has said, this is an exciting day as we rebrand our stadium into Center Parc Credit Union Stadium over the past several months. We've had an incredible opportunity to work with Chuck, Amy, Wes, Chris, several others within the APCU family to make this exciting opportunity possible. And I also want to give a special shout out to our partners at Van Wagner and also Barath Parthasarathi, university attorney, for helping bring this to the finish line today. When we started the process of looking for a naming rights partner, finding someone who shared our values was incredibly important. And we found such a partner with our friends with Center Parc. Much like Georgia State, our new partners have a tremendous foothold in Metro Atlanta and positively serve tens of thousands of hardworking people. And over the next few years, we look forward to working with them and share our commonalities to serve the Georgia State family through this partnership while we honor the legacy of this iconic sports and entertainment venue. We're incredibly appreciative to be here today, and thank all of you for joining us. Mike?
Thank you, Charlie. At this time, we will take questions from members of the media. If you would, before you ask your question, or for those not asking a question, please make sure to mute your line, if you would, before asking. When you do have a question, please state your name and who you're with, as well as who the question is directed toward, and we'll be more than glad to hopefully get everybody's questions answered today.
I'll ask one, Mike. This is Stan Autry from the AJC.
Thanks, Stan. Go ahead.
Just going to ask Charlie how this is going to help the overall athletic program at the school.
Technology, you gotta love it. Stan, obviously, the opportunity for us to play in the stadium has been tremendous as we try to grow our football program, and candidly, as we try to grow our entire athletics program. And obviously, the partnership with Center Parc is going to be tremendous from our standpoint in helping us grow. We look forward to really, utilizing the resources that are being brought to the table with sponsorship to help us, further the student athlete mission that we have for our kids and our program.
And let me ask Amy, if it's okay. Sounds like you've been involved with this from the get-go. How did the partnership kind of come about? How was the approach made? And kind of walk us through what that dance was like.
You're on mute.
All right, I'm here. Yes, thank you. I'm happy to address that. We actually started having a conversation with the folks at Georgia State University over a year ago. In fact, it was, I believe, March of 2019. And at first we were talking about, something that was smaller and momentousness, I guess you could say. It was something we were talking about, a smaller opportunity to start to tell the community our story and get out there with our new brand name, which we actually didn't even have at that time. But after we really got to know each other and some of the leadership of the two organizations came together, many of the same individuals who are on this call, in conversations about a shared vision for the community and having a real impact on the community, I think we all just sort of organically came to the conclusion that we wanted our relationship to expand and to be something, to really elevate it in a meaningful way so that we could optimize our impact. So the idea to name the stadium and do something that significant just grew organically out of quite a number of months of conversations about what we wanted to see in the community.
Thanks, Stan. Anyone else with members of the media have any questions for our group?
This is Julian Hart
for 106.3. A question for Charlie and then a question for Amy. For Charlie, what does it mean to have a deal for 15 years going out that far, a decade plus for the athletic program?
I think it speaks stability, and that's what we're trying to create. This is obviously something that, as Amy mentioned, we didn't rush into a decision. We wanted to find a like-minded partner, and certainly feel like the values of the university and the values of Center Parc are intertwined, and will obviously become much more intertwined as we roll out, our different opportunities for people to enjoy and be a part of. And but at the end of the day, for us, it's we're trying to build a program, starting at year 11 and whatever this season may look like. We've got a long way to go, and this gives us a great opportunity to have someone grow along with us who shares our values.
And Amy, long term, what do you think it will do for the branding of the credit union, being that you'll be attached to a building that a lot of people see coming through downtown Atlanta?
Thank you for that question. Yes, Center Parc is a new brand. As our CEO Chuck had stated, we just launched this brand so that our parent company APCU could have an opportunity to really go out into the community and connect with more individuals and become even stronger than we already are for the people that we serve. But it is a new brand, and so getting the word out about the credit union by partnering with a mission-driven organization like Georgia State University can help acquaint more people much more quickly than about the value that we can bring to them and their family members than we could probably do through any other channel. So I think that over the course of 15 years, as Center Parc Credit Union becomes part of the Atlanta landscape, it will grow and become enmeshed with the entire community concurrently. So we thought that we just couldn't ask for a better partner to help us get the word out about what we can bring to the community.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Charlie.
Any other questions from members of the media at this time?
Hello, this is Julian Harden of the Signal at Georgia State. Question for Charlie Cobb. You said, going to your 11th year, how big this is for your football program. Talk about how huge this is after a decade of football, being a new stadium name for such an iconic stadium.
Yeah, I think that's probably been one of the enjoyable parts of this whole process is to actually think of what this stadium means to this community and the history behind it. Obviously, we're trying to carve our own piece of that identity and the history, and to have a group that's interested in being on that path, that walk with us as we rebrand the stadium into what we're doing. And so, hugely important, very critical to what we're trying to accomplish and grow, and just excited about what that brings for our student athletes and our coaches going forward.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other members of the media have questions at this time for any of our group?
Yeah, I have a question. I think it's probably best for Charlie. But, how did the pandemic impact putting this deal together, if any, if it did at all? Going through this dynamic right now, right, putting this together.
Well, I think you're witnessing part of it today by the fact that it's announcements being made with a Zoom, and we're all in locations, and some of us may be in our offices, some of us may be elsewhere, but it's certainly the opportunities for us to get together weren't as frequent, and I tip my hat to people on both sides of the fence from the university's perspective as well as with the Center Parc folks. There really was a shared commitment that this partnership was going to need it to happen, and we were going to make it happen. And so we worked through the challenge of schedules and logistics. But honestly, with the environment that we're in today, we're genuinely excited to be at this place, right now making this decision.
Hello. Just to follow up on that, when do you think we'll know exactly, or when the stadium will be officially unveiled? As far as the new stadium name and branding and that whole transition.
Yeah, we've been working on signs for a couple of weeks now. Obviously, we wanted to wait on approval from the Board of Regents before we walk too far down that road, and so we've done some behind the scenes. If you ride by the stadium today, there's a sign up on the marquee outside of the parking lot. We've done some work inside the stadium, but you'll see that transition over the next couple of weeks, and we think again it's another story to cover as we go through this transition of the changing of the signs.
How long do you think the complete process will? Is it a year process, the complete transformation?
No, it's going to take us several weeks. Some signs, the lead time to the logistics or the lead time on some of the signs are a little bit longer than others, but there's some that candidly we're working on, as of today, and hope to, certainly whenever we play that first home football game, it will it will have a very strong Center Parc presence in the stadium.
Thanks, Charlie.
Julian Harnigan of the Signal. A question for Cobb and Amy. One thing that I want to look at is, it's worth $21.5 million. Have you guys, not just for this year, but kind of look forward into what this kind of would do for improvements to the stadium at all in the next couple of years?
No, we haven't really looked that far down. Our intent, candidly, is really, student athlete being, and so it's a innocuous phrase that a lot of people in the college world live, but we've got a lot of needs for our kids, for our coaches and our programs, and that's really where we're going to focus first and foremost. We're fortunate the facility itself is in great shape. Obviously, it's got a couple things here and there from the fact it's a 20-year-old building, but straight from a facility standpoint, we're in great shape on that end. We'd really like to focus on this benefiting our kids and our coaches.
Thank you.
Any other members of the media at this time with questions for our group?
Brandon Lincoln from Extra 106.3. Charlie, you've been a great steward of and a great caretaker of budgets. What does this do long term for the athletic department, knowing that you have a few extra dollars coming in for the next 15 years? And for Amy, how many ATM machines, new ATM machines, could we see around the stadium and around campus?
Amy, I'll let you go first. How about that?
That'll be fine. As far as ATMs go, we are actually placing 4 machines inside of Center Parc Stadium. And those, I don't know the exact timetable, but certainly before the games start, those will be in place. And then regarding additional ATM presence around the campus, we're actually going on a tour in just a few days to determine where the best locations would be. But I'm hoping for at least a few right around the downtown campus initially.
Yeah, and for us, it's at the end of the day, we haven't spent the money already. I think I appreciate the thought or idea of being cautious in how we approach things and being fiscally responsible in what we do. And so the challenge for us and the opportunity we have is to take our resources and use them in the best way possible to make our program successful. And we look at that from a competitive standpoint. We look at it from an academic standpoint. We look at it at what our kids are learning on a personal level in terms of being able to leave Georgia State with a degree in hand and the opportunity to make a difference in this world. And so our kids are no different than the other students who graduate from this great university. And we look at it to do those things to help fulfill that mission.
Thank you.
We've got a few more minutes left if we have any other questions from members of the media today. Well, if not, I will thank everybody for joining us today. We will have this call up on our website a little later today for anybody that needs to follow back up on anything. Thank you to President Becker, Charlie Cobb, Amry Fuller, and Chuck Head for joining us today. Thank you to the members of the media. We appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing everybody at Center Parc Stadium very soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
All right.
Mike. Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Chuck.
Thank you. All right. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.